So I grew up in a small town, Barre, Massachusetts, in central Massachusetts, in sort of a normal family. I have an older sister, and we weren't particularly outdoor oriented, but as a child I played outdoors a lot. We hiked Mount Monadnock, we went on picnics, we went to the White Mountains. So, but I had a pretty normal childhood. And I think I was a little bit of a tomboy. I had a really great truck. I wanted to be a firefighter. And my parents never told me that because I was a girl, I couldn't do that. Then when I went to college, I actually majored in English and literature and wrote my senior thesis on myth and religion in James Joyce's Ulysses. And that was during the first Earth Day. And I really, during that period of time, in the early 70s, I felt like there were lots of scientists who knew a lot, and they had a lot of knowledge and a lot of backing in terms of science, but they weren't addressing the environment, or I didn't think they cared about the environment. So I really decided I wanted to do something in the environment. I didn't want to get a PhD. I didn't want to teach. I took a year off and worked at Environment Canada, and I decided to go to forestry school. I would go to national forestry meetings, and I knew every woman who was there. I'm delighted that that's no longer the case, because there are a lot more women who are in the field. I think that we were discriminated against, and I think one of the things that was positive for me was that people didn't forget me because I was one of the few women. I had a sense of humor. I liked being with people. The Forest Society was founded in 1901 to protect the White Mountains. And the organization, along with the Appalachian Mountain Club and many citizens from New Hampshire and elsewhere, were responsible for passing the Weeks Act, which created all of the eastern national forests. And in 1904, the mission statement was created, which was to protect the forests of New Hampshire by their wise use and their complete reservation in places of special scenic beauty. And that is still the mission statement of the Forest Society. We would use different language today. We would talk about sustainable forestry and wilderness protection, but the same sentiment is behind that, which is that those are two sides of the same coin. When I was hired, they wanted a forester, which I was, and am, and they were also looking for someone who could make sure to raise money and raise friends for the Forest Society to continue its sustainability financially, as well as being able to oversee the policy work, the forestry work, the education work of the organization. And I think one of the reasons I got hired was that in my second interview, we were in downtown Concord. They asked me to leave for an hour and come back. And I was coming back, and three of the people who were interviewing me, who were on the board or very influential in the Forest Society, were standing on a street corner talking. And I went over to the three gentlemen and I said, "My car's right here, I really need some money for the meter, I don't have any quarters. How about, do any of you have a couple quarters I could have?" And all three of these gentlemen reached into their pockets, pulled out their change. I think I took a quarter from each of them, and I looked at them sweetly and said, "You see, I do know how to ask for money." It was actually Suzanne Gibler-Hacker on the staff of the Forest Society who first met Alan. He had contributed to an effort we did to put a conservation easement on the balsams up in the North Country. And Suzanne came to visit him and thank him, and also to talk to him about Northern Pass. Northern Pass was a proposal that would be devastating to the state of New Hampshire, and Alan quickly realized that. So I had lunch with Alan. We told him about Northern Pass, and he was really interested in that. And at the same time, he was envisioning building Alnoba. And so it was interesting that, he clearly had visions of what could be, and we had visions of what could be. I know I felt really inspired by Alan, the way he pursued his vision. I'm always attracted to people who have those kinds of big ideas and are pursuing them no matter what the odds are. So I think that was the beginning of our relationship. And I think that as the relationship grew, he understood that we were effective in doing what we were doing to fight Northern Pass. And we understood that we could count on Alan to not only help us with financially, but also with ideas and with people and with connections. So that relationship just grew. When Northern Pass was first proposed, we were having conversations with our Board of Trustees about what our role should be in fighting Northern Pass. We were concerned about the landscape level of what this would do to New Hampshire and what it would do to towns and communities. I said to the staff, we can't let that happen to New Hampshire. It really had a lot to do with all of the people in New Hampshire who were also against this power line. We would sometimes get discouraged. We wouldn't tell anybody we were discouraged, but we would get nervous. And something would happen with one of the local groups that were opposed that just buoyed our spirits, and we would think, we can do this. Early on in the fight, we did a lot of what we do, land protection. And some of the land protection we did was very strategic in terms of blocking the routes that Northern Pass wanted to take. That won us a lot of friends in the North Country. We loved the Orangistas. They were the people who were against Northern Pass. They were the local community people. We didn't organize them. They organized themselves. We provided them information when we could. We tried to help them out when we could, but they were completely driven by their own agenda, and they understood what was going on. And then it became clear that the legal fight was also really important. The Lewis Family Foundation support was incredibly important. When there's a lead donor, it gives other donors confidence. And I think at each step of the way, we had successes. And those successes built confidence that we could do the next step, whatever that was. But we couldn't have done what we did without financial support. And so it was incredibly important that we had the Lewis Family Foundation in our court and understanding what we were doing, and also asking us questions and inspiring us along the way. I think the success of the Four Society's efforts during my 23 years was not just about me as a leader, but about the group that I pulled together to do the work that we had to do. And also to pull together the Board of Trustees that really cared about the organization. I just feel like I can't take credit. It was always a group effort of the staff and this incredible board who were committed to New Hampshire, who were committed to protecting the forests of New Hampshire, the quality of life, the things that make New Hampshire as special as it is. My tenure at the Forest Society, from my perspective, was based on relationships. Because of all of that, I think, we accomplished amazing things. We helped protect hundreds of thousands of acres in New Hampshire that will never be developed. I think that women who choose forestry as a field are choosing, as are men, choosing a challenging field at this time, but at no time in our past has it been more important for there to be trained foresters in the world at a time when the climate crisis is so evident, and the importance of trees as carbon sinks and also as forest products has never been more important. And it's foresters who have the capacity to lead us in the efforts to ameliorate climate change, particularly in the Northeast. And so I think it's great that women are entering the field, and you go.